In this video, we are going to talk about naming shapes, giving shapes names. No, not like, this looks like a Greg, or, oh, this rectangle here looks like a Susan. Not quite like that kind of naming shapes. This is what we mean. When we have shapes, their vertices always have letters. All the vertices are always labeled with a letter. And to name a shape, there are two important things we have to do. Number one, we always use uppercase. Always use uppercase letters. And number two, we write it in alphabetical order. Uppercase and alphabetical is really important. When I go to name this green rectangle, I have to look at which letter comes first in the alphabet. Well, the answer is A. Out of these four vertices, A comes first. And what's next? When I go from A, do I go down towards the D, or should I go over to the B? What's next in the alphabet? Well, I hope you said B. And then I just follow the path all the way around the shape until I name all sides A, B, C, D. And that's the name of this shape. This shape's name is A, B, C, D. Notice how I did all uppercase letters, and I wrote them in alphabetical order. Here's another shape, and you see that the vertices have been labeled with letters, uppercase letters, so I have to name this shape. So the first thing is, where do I start? Well, I have to think about the alphabet, and which of these letters comes first? Well, the answer is C comes first. So starting from C, am I going to go over to the E, or do I follow this line down to the K? What comes first in the alphabet, the E or the K? I hope you said E. E comes next. And then, since I went from C to E, I just keep following it all the way around until I label all the vertices. So this shape is called C-E-G-K. C-E-G-K is the name. Uppercase letters and alphabetical. Here's a shape with an interesting way to name. So again, all the vertices are labeled, and I have to start with the letter that comes first in the alphabet. So out of these 6 letters, the letter that comes first in the alphabet is the C. And then I have to decide, am I going to go down to the F, or am I going to go across to the E, always following my lines of the shape? What's next in the alphabet? Well, I hope you said E. A, B, C, D, E comes next. And then, this is the tricky part. Sometimes students think, oh, you know what comes after E is F, so I should label this F next. And then G, H, and then I. But here's the problem with that. If I follow the path, starting with C, going to E, and then going to F, and then going to G, and going to H, and going to I, have I made the shape that we had there? No, I have not. So what's really important when you name shapes, we'll stick with C and E, is once you start going around a shape, you have to keep going the same direction. You can't cut across a shape. So because we started from C and we moved over to E, we're going to keep going around the shape until we get back to C. So the name of this shape is C-E-G-H-I-F. Even though F comes before G in the alphabet, we had to continue following the lines, and we can't make our own lines by crisscrossing in shapes, because that gets too confusing. Here's our original shape. What we want to do now is name sides that are the same length. Well, remember from the other video that I can identify the same length sides by using hatch marks. So this line and this side are the same length. But how would I label that? Well, this line here is called AB because I always label my lines by their vertices. So that's line AB. And that's equal in length to this line down here. But I don't want to call it DC. Can you think of why I don't call it DC? It's because of the alphabet. I have to call it in the order of the alphabet. So this line would be called CD because C comes before D. There is another set of equal length lines on this shape. This line and this line are equal length. So to name them, I have to think about the alphabet. So here's a line here, and that line is called AD, and it's equal in length to this line, which we call BC. There's one more thing we can do. Do you remember parallel sides? Sides that are like train tracks and are always the same distance apart? Remember that this line here is parallel to this line here. And I show that by making arrows. This line and this line are parallel. And to label them, I call the top line AB because I have to label it alphabetically. The bottom line is called CD. And to make a parallel symbol, we make two lines like that, kind of like train tracks. Yes. There's another set of parallel lines in this shape. This line here, I'll give two arrows because it'll match with this line here, which also gets two arrows. And to label that, the first line I call AD, and it is parallel to BC. Excellent. Here's a neat little thing to remember. If you get stuck about what does parallel mean, I like this word because right inside the word, look right there. Parallel lines, right here. There are parallel lines in the word parallel. Excellent.